All right, so welcome. What follows here is a little bit of the coffee talk Mary and I had earlier today. And it's been a while since I did a mudletting episode, and since Mary and I were actually being topical, I decided to record it. There's not much to look at here with this one. This is just two people having some fun with current events, right? Starting with the mass exodus from the CDC. So have fun with this one, guys. U.S. CDC chief fired after weeks in role as other top officials quit agency. So they're jumping ships. And they're jumping ship. All right, so let's see. The director of the United States top public health agency has been fired after less than 1 month in the job, and several top agency leaders have resigned. Susan Menarez is not aligned with, in quotes, President Donald Trump's agenda and refused to resign, so the White House terminated her. Deputy Press Secretary Kush Desai said on Wednesday night. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services had announced her departure in a brief social media post on Wednesday afternoon. Her lawyers responded with a statement saying Morenas had neither resigned nor had been told she was fired. When CDC Director Susan Morenas refused to rubber stamp unscientific, reckless directives. See, now I want to know what the unscientific and reckless directives were. Were they to, limit what pharmaceutical companies and industrialists could put in food products? I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
And fired and other health products, and fired dedicated health experts. She chose protecting the public over serving a political agenda. See, I don't think that that's true. I mean, I think she was protecting her own political agenda. For that,
I think they all have their own agenda.
Of course they do. And so for that, she's been targeted. This is not about one official. It is about the systemic dismantling of the public health institutions, the silencing of experts, and the dangerous politicalization of science. And the attack on Dr. Morenas, I can't read that right, is a warning to every American. Our evidence-based systems are being undermined from within. You have to challenge the evidence-based systems, right? Whose evidence? What evidence are they using? How are they cultivating it? Statistics can be used and manipulated to meet agendas. I mean, it is ridiculous that they just don't like being challenged, or that I don't know.
I was born in the same year that the National Academy of Medicine was created.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. It's like
that wasn't good science that was being used to create these things.
No. Is it totalitarianism to take back control of the health system that has been auctioned off to private concerns like pharmaceutical companies and...
Well, it was built by private concerns.
Right, hospitals and insurance companies. I mean, that's the thing.
Johns Hopkins
Nixon
Public
did this.
Health, half of it was Yale's Skull and Bones. That was half of the big four founders. In 1901, Rockefeller created public health in New York.
Yeah.
By 1917, he delivered it to Hopkins. By 1918, he delivered it to Jerusalem. After that, it was all just profitable stuff for the oil industry. I mean, we had paper covers and cotton gowns that used to be washed at the laundry facility at Johns Hopkins. Now everything is no longer glass, it's plastic. You don't fix anything, you dispose of it, you don't sterilize anything, you throw it away.
We live in a disposable society, right? And there's very few...
And it all turned into plastics. You use plastic utensils, you use, rubberized equipment. It all ties to the oil industry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, plastic and rubber, petroleum-based, But all right, so hold on. There's a lot of other officials that resign, Mary. They're just bailing, I guess.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, her departure coincided with the resignation this week of at least 4 top CDC officials. The list includes Dr. Deborah Oury, the agent's deputy director, Dr. Daniel Jernigan, head of the agency's National Center for Emerging and Zoonotic, Zoonotic Infectious Diseases. Zoonotic infection diseases? Are we catching diseases from zoos now? All right, Dr. Demeter, this is the guy that you sent me that tweet. All right, Daskalakis. Demeter Daskalakis, head of the National Center for the Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, and Dr. Jennifer Layden, director of the official Office of Public Health Data Surveillance and Technology. So they have just bailed. In an email reported by the Associated Press, Oury lamented the effects on the agency from planned budget cuts, reorganization, and firings.
Last time they emptied out that many offices in the federal level, it was called Reformation.
Alright, so they're just talking about her here a little bit. She's the shortest serving CDC director in history. Alright, well, so, see, why is Trump going after the Smithsonian Museums? That's what I was doing when you called me, Mary. I was syncing up my audio and my slides.
The Smithsonian was a private collection. So
all museums started out as private collections. No, I shouldn't say all of them, but the older ones definitely started out as private collections being passed forward. And that's
the Smithsonian was supposed to remain out of the hands of the Federalists. It was endowed for a very long time, so that nobody but that endowment had to put money into that place.
Yeah.
But like I said, they're relocating all the antiquities to their new museums, and the new museums are not here.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Civil War stuff. Where are they taking that? To Pelosi Town? What her father paid for. So since she moved to the West Coast, all of his monuments get to go there too.
Yeah. It's interesting how little physical stuff they have left. Now, see, I want to go to that Civil War museum over on President Street. It's so small. Well, how much stuff could be in there?
I'll be free this week. Well, not this weekend. I got to go to Six Flags.
Oh my God, Mary. I don't want to talk too much about this because I have to, again, rewrite part 2, but of this one I'm putting together now, about Charles Wilson Peele. I went to the museum, I went to the library, and they have as reference, I couldn't take it out, a biography written about Charles Wilson Peele for the Philosophical Society of Philadelphia in the 1940s. And so in it, like Wikipedia and some of the magazine articles online, they don't really give anything about his family, his father, and going back, right? Who was Charles Wilson Peele? He kind of really has this history that just disappears. So I went, and in there they talk about who his father was, and it connects to Poe and some of the Baltimore families. It is insane. So now I got a lot more work to do on that. And
I haven't been to the Peele Museum in ages.
Yeah, did I send you the pictures of what's there?
No, I don't think so.
That's going to be a big reveal if I ever get to it. But I do want, like I said, I have been working on this one this morning here to get it done. Yeah, I don't know if I'll publish it or not because it'll be weeks before I can get the second part, months even. But now, because I'm hot on this Charles Wilson Peele now, what I found at the library, so it makes me go in a whole, not different direction, but just a deeper one. All right, well, I'll see. I'm gonna listen to that.
You know what I watched this morning?
Uh-oh, tell me.
I watched my drunken county representative, Todd Fran.
I saw that footage. I saw that. He was wasted. Dragging him out of there. Crime. Pulling him by the arms along the floor. Crazy.
I didn't do anything wrong. And the officer goes, we know you didn't do anything wrong, but you're coming with us anyway.
Right.
And I was like, man, what that's my representative you're fucking manhandling like that. So what are you going to do to me?
Well, the man was very, very intoxicated. They only show, of course, the bit at the end, kind of, where, he's kind of belligerent and they try to pick him up out of the chair and he falls and they just drag him out. I would like to see that full conversation, how long were they in there? How belligerent was he? Because
he wasn't.
No?
That's the one that I watched. No, he was not at all.
Okay. I've only seen, like, right from the very end, you know.
You saw he was obviously drunk.
Oh, yeah, he could barely
He
speak.
pointed to the top drawer and said, like, right here. And they told him not to reach into the drawer. And the officer opened it, and that's where he had his gun. Of course he's got a gun. The man's office is in fucking East Point Mall. So of course he's got a gun in his office, because he got fucking common sense.
Right.
And he was drunk. And he pointed at the drawer where the gun was. And they took it from him. They confiscated his firearm.
They might.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
But then he sat there, and even after they confiscated his gun, he was like, I didn't do anything wrong. And she said, we care about you. I don't know who the we is when they send those people out. Because honestly, I live a life where when I wake up in the morning, there ain't not a goddamn person that gives a fuck how I feel.
Right.
And I was like, oh, who the fuck is this we they sending out here, you know? Because I know when I was in a stress-filled, you know, administrative position where I was the top dog, I was fucking drinking too. Because that shit weighs on your fucking mind after a while.
Yeah.
And to treat him like that because he was fucking drunk, he wasn't belligerent. He asked, what the fuck did I do?
Well, you know.
Okay.
This, you know what is.
She goes, we care about you.
I mean, I'll have to see it again. I only saw, like I said, what they show in the morning news, and it was a few days ago now. So I'll have to go back and look at it, but...
I'll send it to you because it's on my current history on YouTube, so I'll just drop it in a text message.
All right, that sounds good. I'll take a look at it.
I mean, it was ridiculous. It was like a master and a slave situation. Yes, master, I'll get up. Yes, master, I'll do what you say. You say no, oh, you're coming with us anyway. Willingly or unwillingly, you're fucking coming with us. Screw that.
Well, it could have been, you know, a misguided or it just went wrong. It just went south on him. But it makes me kind of think a little bit of, you know, when somebody was as intoxicated as he was, and he, again, clearly wasted drunk, you are a danger to yourself and others, you know. And so it could have been like, it initially kind of made me think of the drunk from the Andy Griffith Show, whose name I can't remember. You know, they would just lock him up in the drunk tank so he wouldn't hurt himself or anybody else. You know, they let him out in the morning. All right, see you, Otis, or whatever his name was.
Drunk tank.
Say again?
Southeast used to actually have a drunk tank.
I would hope so.
They created central booking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one.
You can go in for public intoxication, yeah, sleep it off, and get out in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, these people make life fucking difficult. Lock him in his goddamn office and tell him to lay on the sofa and go to sleep.
Right, put a puke bucket next to him. But actually, he seemed like the type so far gone like that. He probably doesn't get sick, or at least not like that.
Yeah, I didn't like what I saw.
No. Well, but on the other side of it, how could you like your representative being that wasted drunk at work?
Yeah, well, that's the way I shared it today. I said I don't know who to be mad at. My county representative for being drunk on the job, or the police who treated him like a slave when they showed up.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in the middle here. Well, first off, he is not my representative. I've been down that route. Me and Todd Crandall's assistant have been on the phone, and I've reached to a higher power already. So he does not represent me. And in that state on that video, I can pull it out as proof that you, like Daniel Herschel, are not my friend. You were drunk, and he's abusive, and I can pull you both up on video and show you. I mean, it's just ridiculous that these are the people that, are supposed to be representing me. I'm glad he had enough for that bottle of alcohol, because I know I ain't got that much money to spend. And he was clearly drinking it straight out the bottle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. He seems like a hardcore drunk to me. Like that was a nightly occurrence,
Yeah. When you're drinking straight out the bottle, you definitely ain't no lightweight.
No. Or you got a lot on your mind. Your conscience is heavy.
Yes. And like I said, I've been in those shitty jobs where, that stuff plays on your mind, and I don't know. I can't respect him for being sloppy drunk at work no matter what kind of day you had. I wonder who he was in a meeting with before that happened.
Right? And her name was Diamond. And she cost about $2,000 an hour.
I listened to this fucking drug video that they put up recently about Baltimore. And they're going around all these fucking bitches that coming out of the county, going down to the city to get drugs, and how they get called into prostitution. There's one woman on there says, yeah, there's some executive, and he takes me to a nice hotel downtown, and he pays me $350 just to abuse him. There's no sex. I just smack him around and burn him with cigarettes, and he pays me $350 for that.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there thinking,
he's getting off cheap, I think.
Life.
That seems like
somebody around and not get charged for it.
Right? Yeah, walk away with some cash.
Charge for it, but I mean, legit, like the charges being press charges.
Seems like a good gig if you can get it, right?
I feel like I would be living a happier life if I got to smack out some of my aggression.
Yeah. But you got anything else you want me to look up while we're doing this, Mary?
What did I read? The Trump administration has opened up our natural forests that were given to us by all our previous presidents for mining.
Yeah.
I think that was the only one I had, because that's the last of the natural woodlands we have. So, yeah, just take that too.
Is this Trump?
I actually think I found it at the bottom of the natural parks page.
Cheaters on here. Trump officials plan to remove protections on 2 million, who is this? The Oregon Capital Chronicle, the Alaska Beacon. I bet they're all the same article. Well, let's find out. Let's look. The Trump officials plan to remove Oregon Capital. This is Neil McDonald. 6 a.m. Is that today? What's today? Today's the 28th? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Trump administration officials intend to remove protections and opens to development. See, I'm looking too far ahead. Trump administration officials intend to remove protections and open to some development more than 58 million acres of national forests across 40 states, including 2 million acres of national forests in Oregon.
Yeah.
So
fuck the natural protected forest lands. Trump is the new emperor.
Yeah, well, let's say it's not Trump. Trump is the fucking middleman.
It's not him. It's the department that's below him.
Trump is the hilarious comedian they have as their front man. I mean,
I keep saying Trump is the man. Trump is the plan. Vance is their man.
Yeah, Vance is the man.
Trump's the plan. Vance is the man. They're going to link in him. I told you this early on.
Vance. Vance is the man.
Come on, he's the fucking Christian savior of them all. He's the one. It's not really Trump that's holding up that Bible. That's J.D. Vance toting all that Christian shit about his wife's children and, 2026, baby, 200 years since the Jew Bill of Maryland was signed. The sect of secular beliefs.
The forest changed in 24 years, Mary. Did you know that forest could change in 24 years? This guy says the forests we know today are not the same as the forests of 2001. No? They're dangerously overstocked
because they've been destroyed and their shopping centers on top of them.
All right, so the argument is that the forests are too successful, right? And that they are dangerously overstocked and increasingly threatened by drought, mortality, insect-borne disease, and wildfire. Right, it's time to return land management decisions where they belong. Let's see, research from the Oregon State University, Professor Chris Dunn, a forest ecologist and wildfire expert, and his colleagues found most wildfires in western national forests between 1984 and 2018 started near roads, showing an increased likelihood of wildfires where roads exist, because the number one cause of wildfires is people. The news Wednesday angered Oregon environmental advocates who are urging the public to submit comments to the USDA in opposition to the proposed rollback. But I am curious about this argument, like these national forests were created with boundaries. They have limits. All right. And so what's happening within those limits? Are the trees getting too close together and creating the likelihood for more fires? People started or not? I don't know.
They don't clear the dead woods anymore.
Well, this is what, is that what this is?
When people were naturally living in forests, any of these trees that have fallen, the dead woods that are on the ground, they naturally got cleared by people who were foraging for shit to burn or, shit to use to make stuff. So there wasn't a bunch of dead woods anymore. But you gotta remember, some of these things that we're calling natural forests right now were replanted with trees brought by these European people. Some of those redwoods weren't put there to not burn. Some of the oils and some of the trees that they planted go up like fucking torches.
Yeah.
So you blaming the woods, or you blaming the Europeans that came here and planted those flammable trees?
Well, all trees are flammable.
Not like oils, like they have these pine oils and stuff that, they purposely planted.
Yeah. Well, because, especially once they got the steam thing going and before coal, it was all wood, before coal, right? And I'd have to look, were the first, steam engines, were they coal or wood fire? I don't know. I
want to say they were coal because them Dysart people in Fife, Scotland or Fife, Ireland already had a coal pit going.
I wish I could or type better. All right, so the first steam engines were coal-fired. Yeah.
Okay, let's speak about coal and fires.
All right, see here, speaking to my point. All right, while wood was used in some steam engines, particularly in North America, where coal was less accessible in the early days of the steam engine, I guess, because, all they had to do was get to West Virginia to find that coal. Yeah.
The recent ship explosions I thought to be a bit coincidentally ironic.
Say again?
The recent ship explosions.
Oh, yeah, I didn't follow up on that one at all. What happened with that?
Well, let's see. The Sapphire that was carrying coal just happened to explode in the Baltimore
Wait a minute.
Harbor.
There was a coal ship named it was named Sapphire?
You heard me right.
Oh.
I did not stutter when I said that. The coal ship Sapphire blew up in the Inner Harbor, carrying coal, which, here locally, here lately has been a big factor in our news because, all those lunatics that built their houses around the industrial area suddenly have their friends, with the capital F, over at Johns Hopkins doing air quality studies on coal dust. Like, coal hasn't been there fucking forever.
So they closed?
You chose to move next to that coal pile. That coal pile didn't choose to move next to you.
So they closed it. See, I didn't realize it was I remember, because I watched the morning news for 10 minutes, to get the weather and see if anything tragic has happened.
The news stories and just click the ones that entertain.
And I remember hearing about this and going, oh, that's interesting. A ship blew up. But they closed the whole Inner Harbor for this.
The one in the Baltimore Harbor.
So it's 10 days ago? Yeah.
That was followed up.
What is it? We're gonna read what the official story is because they have the U.S. Coast Guard's got an article on it here.
Okay, you want to do Sapphire before I share the rest?
What do you got? No, go ahead.
The second one was the New Orleans.
There was a ship explosion in New Orleans?
No, the ship was called New Orleans, though. Ooh. Like New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
Where that 1814 war ended with that treaty in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So they blew up the Baltimore Harbor and the New Orleans in a week.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but, I'm just a conspiracy theorist, so don't put any of that together, because that's just not real. It's just the news.
Right, yeah. It's all right there, right?
I am. I'm on the phone. Bullshit.
Do you need to go?
No,
Huh.
it's just one of my agents coming in.
American warship. Was it American warship near Russia?
Yeah, somewhere near there.
I didn't hear about this one at all. And this one was just over a week ago.
Yeah, they're like back to back.
12-hour fire.
Yes, that's it.
2 sailors with minor injuries. Everybody walked away from that one, so I guess that's good, right? But a fire that burned for 12 hours aboard the amphibious warship USS New Orleans, amphibious, I like that, of Okinawa, was declared extinguished early Thursday morning local time. A 25,000-ton warship is now anchored. Okay, the fire began approximately 4 p.m. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. So it's 8 days later. Do we know?
I don't know. I never followed up on it. I just heard that story and went, yep, okay, and moved on.
Yeah. The fact that there was, a ship explosion in the Baltimore harbor, and then a ship explosion on a ship called the New Orleans, and both of those places, and both of those places are all about the War of 1812.
I could have.
It makes me want to look at some of the.
You can call me crazy, but I could have swore that on April 19th, 2015, I went down to North Avenue and I pointed out Solomon Eddings' grave site. The following day, I was on Pratt Street pointing out the significance to we started a war here in 1861. When I looked up the warship New Orleans, they let me know that it refers to multiple different U.S. Navy ships.
Is that right?
Yeah. The most recent being the USS New Orleans, LPD-18. A San Antonio-class amphibious transport dock, which recently had a fire extinguished aboard in August 2025.
Is that it? USS New Orleans.
Other notable warships, including the World War II heavy cruiser, the USS New Orleans,
Thank God.
CA-32, who lost a bow, was discovered in July of 2025. Huh.
I don't think that's it either. At all.
LPD-18.
What's LPD-18?
The number of ship. LPD-18.
Oh, okay. All right, so this is clearly a ship. There just doesn't seem to be an image of it on fire, smoke coming from it, or anything.
Well, It's funny. When you type in a warship New Orleans LP-18 and you let it autofill, it comes into collision.
Really? Well, let me try that. What was your exact search, Mary?
Warship New Orleans, the number. The USS Hartford and the USS New Orleans collide.
Hartford, H-A-R-T?
Hartford, like Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Interesting there, too.
They collided on March 20th, 2009.
All right, so that's a long time ago. But interesting, it was involved in a collision even at any point.
Off a Strait of Hormuz between Iran and the United Arab Emirates. The Hartford was found solely to blame for the accident. See,
that didn't. I put in Warship New Orleans LPD-18, and it just brought me to the ship. The AI overview of what the vessel is, San Antonio class.
Here's how I found it. I got this guy called Sal.
Yeah. He's your man.
He does. What's going on with shipping?
What's with chicken?
Shipping.
Oh, shipping.
I just sent you his link.
Okay. So, wait a minute. What was the date of her collision?
March 20th, 2009.
All right. So the picture they have is from the 2nd of July, 2009. It would have been hilarious if the collision happened just like a day or two after that picture was taken. Northrop Grumman built that ship. Let's find out. I want more about the Sapphire thing. That's interesting, though, that this New Orleans. All right, so this is the coast. Let me blow this up a little bit.
I heard it the first day, and I just shared it. It's ships blowing up in the harbor.
Right. All right. Coast Guard and partners responding to explosion aboard vessel in Baltimore Harbor. The Coast Guard and local partners are responding to reports of an explosion aboard the 751-foot merchant vessel W. Sapphire in Baltimore Harbor on Monday. Responders from Coast Guard Sector Maryland National Capital Region were dispatched to the area to assist. No injuries have been reported this time, and the cause of the explosion is under investigation. All right, interesting both, though, between that and New Orleans, no injuries. Metaphorically speaking, if you wanted to use those as representations of England and U.S. in 1812, and that was a silent takeover that essentially gave the United States back to England. No harm, no foul.
They weren't necessarily working for England when the takeover happened.
Who wasn't working for England?
Yeah, Cromwell's name is on there, but I don't think Cromwell was working for the crown.
What do you mean?
I don't know who the hell Cromwell was working for.
Cromwell was most certainly working for the crown. I mean, if it was real at all, that's my thing always, But
I was transcribing an article from 1806 the other day. And in this article, it's one of those ones where these people are traveling around the old world, so they're sharing transcripts in the newspaper.
Yeah.
And they said that they went to Gomorrah, and Gomorrah was a mining town.
Okay.
And that the mine got struck by lightning and caused the town to burn down. And I was like, that makes more sense than anything I've been sold in life. I said, proving again that God is an act of the universe and not as something, man-made.
Right. I mean, well, think about it, like, the concept of God, it's just an intelligence so great that we can't even begin to even guess, try to even imagine that type of intelligence is beyond our capabilities. We have no clue. Anything that we can conceive of is laughable to an intelligence that great, So that's why it's such an act of hubris that anybody can think they understand the nature of God or the super intelligence that created this realm, this simulation, whatever the fuck we're living in.
Yeah, right now it's the theater. We live in the theater.
Yeah, we're definitely the entertainment, no doubt, for somebody.
I just don't understand how people got so far removed in less than 200 years. I mean, it was not all that long ago that the Latin people into Sola Victus, the people that founded America, at one point told the Society of Jesus, you can fuck off. And then 3 years later looked at the Church of England and said, you can do the same thing. And said, we worship the Almighty God, and there was no cross, there was no fucking crown, and we were supposed to live free. The Jewish people, they had Shemesh. They didn't have no fucking king. Shemesh. I mean, this whole, I need to get on my knees for some fucking king that's going to slap me with the cross of slavery. You got another thing coming. I read fucking history books, and all three of those things say I got to look to the sun and not you for my guidance in life.
That sun is looking to blow up on us and melt some bricks.
Getting ready to. Apophis is going to come and take us out.
Yeah. Well, I hope to have a few more fun days in me before that happens. But
I just don't think that everywhere in the world goes at one time. I think it's, a partial takeout of like half of the world's population. The half that's facing the sun at the moment.
Right. Well, if the sun is local, that's not the way it works. But I just wanted that explosion on the Sapphire just south of Fort Carroll.
Yes. They're moving the Key Bridge just south of where it's going, right?
Yeah.
260 feet to the south is where they want to put up the new bridge.
And how does that benefit them, or what is do you know the reason for that?
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
I think it's just a cheap way to get out of taking down the pillars from the other bridge. They'll leave them up there as their memento to the dead.
Right, yeah, they have to leave a memorial, right?
It'll be the first memorial at sea for, the dead.
Yeah.
The memorial for when surrealism became actual real life.
Well, so that was pretty much the press release from the Coast Guard on this, but Sapphire was a coal ship.
Yeah. There's video from the deck of it.
Is there?
I think it's on Sal's video that I sent you.
Hold on, I'm gonna go YouTube real quick here. Here we go. Let's take a look. Come on now. 17 minutes.
One board you can use, I think that's just a sailor's video, but that other place is on the harbor and they're charging me.
All right, so here's the boat coming into frame here. Bang. Yep. Wow. That's a big old fireball. The ship keeps moving a little bit.
Yeah, she never stopped. She kept going.
Well. All right, well. It's interesting, though. Let me go back to that. It's interesting that the U.S. Navy... Here it is. Doesn't say... I mean, in this immediate press release, it doesn't even say what kind of... what the cargo was. So it was a Greek ship. Facebook group about it.
A Greek ship. Remember, you just said that. You just let that one pass like that didn't even mean anything.
No, it means something.
Greek. I
can't read this. Yeah, Greek bulker. I guess bulker is the name of the ship it was. That's interesting. they could, the Liberian flagged bulker W Sapphire was hit by an explosion.
That's funny. You said Liberia. What?
Liberia.
The presidential palace in Libya just got struck by a missile the other day.
Libya was created by the Maryland. What was the name of that society? Maryland Recolonization Society. Maryland Colonization.
Oh my God! Don't tell me that.
Yeah, Liberia was created as part of Maryland. There's a Baltimore, Liberia. You know.
Their presidential palace just got struck by a missile from Israel.
What? Are you shitting me?
No, it just happened like 2 days ago. You're gonna make me get on my computer.
See, this is why you see, Mary. Like the last time I talked to you, I've been on like a month and a half museum quest. Like that hasn't ended. You know?
I'm sorry I brought you back into the current day events. Are we gonna have to start catching up and just doing like a weekly Zoom meeting? Hey, Andrew, this is what's going on in the world this week.
We might have to. All right, Mary. You know what? We're gonna wrap this one up. I'm gonna take a listen. If it's audible enough, I'll pare it down a little bit and I'll put up a mudletting, for fun.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Mary. I'll talk to you later.
What I do on my work day.
Yeah. Get some work done. Why don't you?
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye. All right, so that wraps it up with our little diversion of the day. Hope you guys had fun with this one. Maybe we'll do it again soon. And remember, just because you don't know the truth doesn't mean you can't have fun with the lies, right? So until the next one, cheers.